Namaste, sir.
Namaste. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just recollecting what we were discussing last time. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Kama develops into Krodha. Dhyayato Vishan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha. All these things, they are not about the outside. They are about the development inside. This is what Krishna made it very clear. And second thing is Krishna also, how many times he gives a hint of that? One more place he gives a hint is that you have Daivi Sampat. Sampat is your own treasure. And Asuri Sampat. And in Daivi Sampat, you have the things like compassion, etc., over there. Asuri Sampat, again that Krodha, Moha, these are the things which are there. So both these things are within you. So it's very clear that he tries to look into yourself, not look at the world outside. It's not the world's contribution, but it is your development that's there within you. So therefore, first thing is that they all clearly said that the problem is there inside you, and that's what Shankar also in his Ari, that means to say enemy, is there inside you, that kamascha, krodhascha, lobhascha, all these things are the enemies that are there within you. And tasmat jagrata jagrataha. So that is what he says, Shankara. And we also have seen in Narad Bhakti Sutra very clearly, he says that Dussangha sarvataye tyajyam. Then immediately Sutra itself, he says that Dussangha is what? That's all kama krodha lobha. Again and again, repeatedly, people are focusing on your side. And this is very important aspect is there, that these anger, hatred, jealousy that is there, when the man was a primitive man, it was there. When the man has been developed over a period of time, it is also there. When highly cultured is also there. A rich man has, poor man has, woman has, a child has, an adult has. So that means to say these are something which are there throughout. Throughout. Just because today that we have technologically developed, materially we have progressed, do you mean to say that these things go away? They will not go away because they're there within you. So that means to say outside world does not touch these things. That's one of the reasons why the whole philosophy, that Indian philosophy, which has given for the change that has to happen within you, it was there 10,000 years ago, the same ideas they have given. 5,000 years ago, they have given. 1,000 years later, they have given. Today also, these values apply. If it is not correcting with the world outside, it's not with how many gods that you have. We added some more gods now. There were less number of gods. Like, Lord Venkateswara came, we added one more god, so world will be better. And later on, such as Sai Baba came, therefore that we have added. People have all this kind of thing. And suddenly Shirdi Sai Baba came, so improved. Or some other person comes, says that I am the God. Like some Nityananda says that I am the Shiva. Okay, fine. But it has nothing to do with the world outside. It's about you. So whatever that you might do, it does not depend upon the world outside. The whole development has to happen from within you. So therefore, inside that we need to make this correction.
The Sanskrit word is Ari.
Ari means the actually enemy.
Enemy. Okay.
Ripu, Ari, these are all the words in Sanskrit there.
Okay.
That's why we call it as Arishad Vargas. And Arishad Vargas is a very beautiful idea because Varga means actually category. It's not just only the Kama Krodha, these are the Arishad Vargas. Kama and related things are all Ari. That means things which are developed around the Kama, things that will develop around the Krodha, these are all what he calls it as Ari. Many times you don't see directly the Krodha, that means the anger, but anger would have given rise to certain other things in your behavioral changes. All these things belong to that Ari Varga.
Ari means what did you say?
Ari means enemy, or Ari also means your violence. Ari is also violence. So Ripu, Ari, these are all the words that are used in Sanskrit.
It's Ari Shat Varga.
Ari Shat Varga.
Six enemies.
Six different, we call it as six enemies, but he says Varga, that means categories. Your enemies are enough, they're there, but then they can be put into categories of six of them. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. You know why he says like that is, the very simple idea is that your moha can be a moha for a material world, that means Annamaya Kosha. Your moha can be there, moha for prana. Moha can be there for your mind, intellect, thought. See, moha can be at so many different levels. So that's why all these things are in the moha category, varga. Similarly, krodha, you can be angry with the philosophy, I mean, angry with the somebody says something, therefore that you're angry. It may be a household thing, but it can be even otherwise also in the education level that people have that kind of a anger. You see, I gave the idea somebody has stolen, then he put that together. See, he made me to the not only these things, you see, look at the way that how it can percolate into even this social service that you do, you're actually serving people. But there also that you find that there was one Swamiji, we were sitting there and recently someplace, and then he was telling that he did this work, that work, and all those things. Ramakrishna was there at the time with me. Swamiji said all those things. I did so much work, I did so many schools and this and that. Finally, one word he said, until that time, Ramakrishna was so happy. He said, it's all thankless job. Wow. Good work, you did it, and you put it in the garbage. The moment you said it's a thankless job, I felt, wow, stuck by that. And it's not ordinary person as Swamiji saying that. Sannyasi saying that. Sannyasi is supposed to have left everything. Such a person is talking about that. So that means Varga. That's why one has to be careful. It can be poor, it can be rich, it can be spiritual, it can be non-spiritual. So there are various ways that it can work. So therefore, that they can really, a simple thing is that it can upset you. All these things, ultimately, it can upset you. As also, I don't know whether I said in this class, but Swamiji, when I was in the new college first year, then he was there in a big company there and all that. He was one of the top engineers there. But then he was follower of Ramakrishna Mission, spirituality and all that. All those things were there, fine. So he used to guide us in, when we started our satsang group and then Ramakrishna Mission. Would guide us means he would actually shout at us because we were all students. I didn't care for anybody shouts anything because my path is my goal is my this thing. It's all right. Later on, I heard that in 2 years that he took sannyasa. He went to some place somewhere. All that happened and a totally forgotten story. But all our group in Shastriji is our group and all, we went to one of the ashrams, spent some satsang there and all that. Suddenly I realized that this person has come to this ashram. Oh, he must be here. I was looking at various people. There was a sannyasi. I could see that his face, I could recognize he is the same person. So I privately went to him, not in front of everybody, because I didn't want to feel embarrassed. I said, sir, you were in Bhopal, and then this is kind of a thing you were there. You became so angry with me. I said, Purvashram things. I left everything. I gave up everything. Don't remind me of these things. I said, then so I didn't want to tell him that, this anger also you could have given in Purvashram itself.
That's right.
That you're not giving it up. So what happens is that people catch hold of that. This varga is that. That means why we have to be careful is that it can percolate in any area that we are transacting, any area of ours that it can transact. So therefore, that Arishad Vargas, that's what he says, that same thing Ripuhu, you need to come out of all these things. So they're there within us, it's not there outside. So therefore, what happens is a culture, the whole civilization, whole setup, whether it is the social setup that is there, whether it is the setup and the family setup, everything is to see that how these things can be cut down. It's within you. So therefore, in how many ever different ways this Sanatana Dharma worked is that a child from the beginning, he grows. That means his growth is there. Similarly, his social setup is there, which has got so many things that are in the society. Education system is there with us, so that also is there. Then business is there that we do, and the governance that we do. Like that, so many things which are there. They incorporated this principle, so many things, so that any of these areas that you take, it will help you in a spiritual growth. You are eating food, it should help you in a spiritual growth. You are walking on the street, it should help you in the spiritual growth. You are traveling, it should help you. So everywhere it is set in such a way that everything contributes for your one single purpose. That's what is the purpose of life. That's why it is called as Purushartha. Purushartha is to see that how you can get towards moksha. And before moksha, these are all the things which are there, which are what is the Arishad Vargas or what are these things, In fact, that's what he says, that all these kamascha, krodascha, lobascha, then these are the things that these are the taskaraha, these are the and what they take away, jnana ratna. That means my own discrimination, my own knowledge, they'll take away. That means I can easily get drifted by these things in so many different ways. So therefore, what happens is that every way, every walk of life, they have given it in such a way that you see that you will not go away. You will go towards. So therefore, that is the basic idea. This whole culture is, they made it into the spirituality. And this journey that we go towards that moksha, kaivalya, is what is yoga. That is the purpose of yoga. So now what is not yoga in this culture? In fact, whether the ashrama dharma is a yoga, and then varna dharma is a yoga, jati dharma is a yoga, kula dharma can be yoga. All that we need to look at from the way of how it can help in the spiritual direction. And it's set like that. It's set like that. That's why all these people, whether it is Ayurveda that somebody has given, or it is metallurgy somebody is given, or mathematics somebody is given, they're all rishis. Rishis means basically they have gone through that experience, and they finally found out the decoction or the essence of all the world that is there, is to see that how they can take you towards the spiritual knowledge. So they have not excluded. How that has to be incorporated, I can give you a small little hint of that particular thing. Like, for example, every child born has to grow in this direction. He is a very fresh, he has no knowledge about anything outside. He has just come. He might have some vasanas that is there within, some skaras that is there within him. But then otherwise, the moment that he comes to the world, he is very fresh. So therefore, until the first, when he is acquiring the things from this world, because the world is the one which contributes. So is there a way that I can see that I filter while he is growing in the initial stages? That's why Brahmacharya ashrama is that ashrama where you use that filter. And in order to use that filter, first of all, you should be equipped into that. That's why we have conducted what is called as, I need to give you some extra perception to you. That extra perception is what is called as upanayana. Nayana is a perception. Nayana is a eye. I'm normally seeing the world, but you have to now have another equipment called as a Nayana is given to you. This is Upanayana. So therefore, the teaching is that first of all, Upanayana identifies you that you are a continuation from all that has come from previous life. You are not just alone. There's so much of contribution from everything. From where you go back to the most ancient person who has guided you. That's what is called as Gotra. So first thing that after Upanayana does is that they say Pravara. Actually, there's a Prakarshena Bhavaraha. That is the idea. The idea is that my identification with all those things. In fact, there's a very beautiful, in Ramayana, it's a beautiful situation where Rama and Sita, they were supposed to get married. And then from Sita's side, because they were in Mithila, and then he was there, Shatananda was there. Shatananda was the Rishi. And then from here, from Rama's side, then Vasishta comes. So Vasishta, Shatananda, they're there. And they're introducing their person. That means Shatananda introduces Sita and Vasishta introduces Rama. And the way that he introduces that overall the lineage behind some 20 generations, Sita, 20 generations from the Rama side. Wow, that means what an amount of thing that is there. We don't even remember grandfather's name. 2 generations, 3 generations.
3 generations.
3 generations. Actually, we are supposed to have knowledge of all those things. So actually, that's what Rajaram, myself, we went in search of. And then while, there's Pitrukartika, we have list of about 7 generations. All that. Totally about 60, 70,
100 plus years.
Yeah.
Show
Oh,
me that.
200 years.
Show me
Yeah,
that.
he has a list of all those things. Their date of birth, their gotra, is everything we collected. And then we offer our respect to all these people who are there. Amazing. I wouldn't have done it.
Group of people in Kerala.
Ah.
They are rounding all the places. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಂತೆ.
Yeah, that's what they have to do it. You see, there are people like, for example, royal family is there.
They will go there, go back to that and they will search.
Kerala royal family is there. They have all those things. Now, actually, see, what is the advantage of this is that there are a lot of people who were victims in the Muslim invasion. They became Muslims. And they went back, traced back that. Now they found out this is the Gotra for them. Now they attach with their name. That's his name, Muhammad Srivatsa. I became Muhammad, my father became Muhammad, but I am a Srivatsa. So I put because my great-grandfather from that time it has come, so I keep that. I'm a Muslim, even now I'm a Muslim. Now you see how one could really get into these things. So therefore, essentially that right from the beginning, that whatever that is there, all these things are given to you. Then only you become Brahmana. In fact, it's a people say that it is caste-based and all that. Very clear picture is there in front of Shvetaketu and Uddalaka goes to Uddalaka and says that, so you go and learn from your teacher and then become Brahmana. He said, no, I'm Brahmana. Why do you ask me to that I become Brahmana? And then Uddalaka says, nobody in his house is born as a Brahmana. Everybody is a Shudra. Only thing is when you learn that you become a Brahmana, go and take lessons from him. That's why he is called as reborn. Dvija.
Second one.
See, one birth is basically your parents have given. That's fine. And they take the responsibility of your growing up. That is what the whole species, every species has this particular thing. Okay. The second birth is that where you start now growing. And basically that after that Dvija, when it becomes that means Upanayana is done. And then they made steps in such a way that initially when child is absorbing the world outside, you put it in the right path. So in the right path means what? What is good for you and what you like. These are the two things that are there. This is what Nachiketa, when he goes to Yama, Yama makes it very clear. There's something what is good, something what you like. What is good for you is Shriya, is good, Shreyas. What you like is Priya, so it Preyas. So these two things are there. In the beginning itself, and the beautiful thing is, what is good for you, it is good for you anyway. But what you like it is something that I can create that liking for you. I have to set up a system in such a way that you start liking what is good for you.
How do we know that this is good for me?
Because the nature itself has an idea about that. If it is not good for you, then first thing is that you find aversion, you find effect on your system, it doesn't work. In fact, in Rana Pratap, it was a very beautiful thing. They were stranded in the forest. Rajguru and Rana Pratap, they were stranded in the forest. Hungry. Rana said, okay, let me go and eat something. There were some fruits. Rajguru said, don't eat those fruits. He said, why? The fruits look nice. Follow the horse. Whatever horse eats, that's good for the system. Don't eat what horse does not eat. Horse knows we are disturbed. For us, what looks good, we think that it is good. Many things what looks good may not be good for us, and what good's bad may be good for us. We don't realize that. A horse knows it, instinctively knows it. We have come away from instinct. So beautifully says that, see, find out where the horse goes and eats. You take that. Whatever that fruit, that plant gives, you take it. Very natural thing. So therefore, nature has the things what is good for you, what's not good for you. And many times what happens is, the very beginning itself, you see that what is not good for you, taste rejects, your system rejects what is not good for you. You get trained for that, adjusted to that. Simple thing, coffee. Child does not like coffee actually. And we make a training for that.
Because when you grow up, you should have.
Yeah, you should have coffee. So that's how essentially what's good for you, you know it. But we are away from it. See, Mullah Nasruddin promised his wife that he will not drink. And he goes to the pub. And then Mullah's wife looks for him anywhere and then finds him, comes to the pub, and then this fellow is sitting at it. And she's wild. She said, you promised me so many times, 100 times, 10 times, that you will not visit pub, you will not drink. And you are here. And then he has to cut a sorry figure, red face. He has red face and guilt and all that. I don't know why you come here and drink all these things. This, what is there in this that you come here? And then she took out that bottle and then directly emptied in her mouth. See, drinking, you should slowly cultivate the habit of drinking and get the taste of it. Otherwise, first time when you are putting in your mouth, and it looks so bitter, taste, horrible. Immediately she felt bitter, so horrible. And then she now shouts at him saying that, for doing this that you come here? Now he became strong. He said, do you think that I come here to enjoy? How difficult it is. So what's good for you, you develop a liking for that. That means there is hardly any gap between the Shreyas and then Preyas. It's not just only for what you eat, but what you talk, the way that you live, what is the way that all these differences are taken care of in the Gurukul. Like the way that once you go, you are in the Gurukul, the first thing is that you beg for the food. Bhiksha. Bhiksha, we think it is bad, but it is taught. And in Gurukul is the way. Yes. And you see, this Upanishad puts it so beautifully. It says that Yakaya Chavdayat Bahwanam Prapniyat. That means by whatever way it is, whatever means it is, create plenty of food. He said cooked food actually. So that you can distribute to the people. You give it to the people. So that means people are there to request for that. So requesting is not denied. Requesting is not looked down upon. Piksha, somebody comes, you feel that you are honored. Somebody has come for piksha. When can you feel that? When you yourself has gone for piksha, not with anybody else. Go to your own mother and take the piksha. Gurukul, the Upanayanam rule is that you go to the mother, ask for bhiksha. So that bhiksha is given a respect for that, so that anybody comes to you with bhiksha, you are giving. And there is nothing wrong about it. See, it so happened, Vivekananda was in Paudi in Himalayas. And then Himalayas, he was going around. And his brother disciple, his name is Niranjanananda, he was also there with him. Vivekananda himself is a wrestler, that is a very strong person. 10 people he can wrestle at the same time. He's such a strong person. And Niranjan is actually, he's about 4 inches taller than him, bigger than him. He's much more like that, Niranjanananda. He's a very soft person. So both of them were there in Himalayas. At that time, it so happened that one day they did not find food and all that. Just sitting on the rocks. Suddenly one paper came flying. Some small little piece of paper. Immediately with his staff, he stopped that paper and he took that paper. And the paper has a news item, a small little news item. America is conducting during the World Trade Fair on that occasion, they are actually conducting a World Congress for Religions. So when moment he saw that the religious world Congress for Religions, immediately when he looked at very intuitively, Vivekananda said, "Oh, this is for this." It was somewhere 1 year before even the event started, Parliament of World Religions. Parliament of World Religions, this is for this. Niranjan got so angry. You useless fellow. You don't even have food to eat today. And then some Congress coming in America, and this is for this. Stop all this and get me food first. I'm following you. Get me food. Okay, I'll get you food. And then they started going at the house, and then went to that house, and then he says, "Ask for bhiksha." And then there was one man, and he said, "No, nothing at home." So you see, you get me food, then you go for bhiksha, and that fellow doesn't have bhiksha, doesn't have anything. Then he said, then Naren himself went and asked bhiksha. We are sannyasins, we are wandering, and then therefore give us food. So he said, "No, I had finished my lunch, so therefore food is finished." If food is finished, then why don't you cook food for us? Why don't you cook for nothing else? Just cook food. No, there is nothing to cook. There is no material to cook. Then Swamiji said to Niranjan, "Go inside, see whether they have everything there." Niranjan went inside and came up and said, "Bhaiya, everything is there. Rice is there, dal is there. Then you go and cook. I'll stand here." Or he said, and Niranjan said, "I don't know cook." I said, "You wait here. I'll go and cook." Swami himself went inside and cooking. Niranjan is standing there. This man ran away from the house and said to the whole village, they said, "There are burglars in our house, there are thieves in our house, robbers in our house, they are robbing our house," and all that. So people came with all that. Hill people, they're short actually, stature. They all came and saw this Niranjanananda standing there, 6 foot 2 inches fellow, quite strong. Said, "What is that they're robbing?" He said, "Yeah, we are here. I think in few minutes, the cooking is over, then we'll have food and then we'll go ahead." What are they robbing? He said that we asked for food, bhiksha, because we are wanting mom. We asked for bhiksha. I said no food, so we are preparing the food. We asked him we can prepare, but he doesn't want to prepare, so that we are preparing eating. They all scolded that fellow, saying that sannyasins come to your house, you give them food. On the other hand, you come and report us that there are robbers in our house. Forget about it. Bhiksha has a value. Bhiksha has such a value. That's why Buddha calls, he was a king himself. And then somebody who has become a sannyasi calls it as bhikshu. Same thing, it's bhikkhu it has become. That means what a respectful thing. And that respect is to be given to the student when he gets into the brahmacharya ashrama. So bhiksha is a brahmacharya activity. So therefore, that means if it's a brahmacharya activity, that means there are certain guidelines given that. And what are the guidelines? You cannot take more than 3 houses. And any house that you go there, bhiksham dehi, you ask for 1 time, 2nd time, 3rd time. Not more than 3 times you should ask. And some house gives you wonderful food. Don't go that house. Not more than 3 days, you cannot go to the same house. If 3 houses do not get the food, then you come back, have some water and sleep. No.
Diksha Dharma, Sannyasa Dharma.
So these are all the sannyasa dharma. Shankaracharya clearly writes all these things in his sannyasa suktam. And how many it is? And another thing is that don't label the food. Just take it. Take the food. That's the idea. This is what is basically dharma, that is ashrama dharma. That's what is brahmacharya ashrama dharma. Jains have added on this particular thing, top of it. So Jain has, this is called as vrata. So Jain added their own vrata called as anuvrata. Anuvrata is that they put a condition. It's a very funny thing. They have a condition which they would not disclose to anybody. They will have kept a condition. And they follow that condition 100%. They don't announce it outside. Like, for example, that we went to one of the Jain centers in Delhi. And that Jain Swamiji was there and all that. And then a lot of people came in line to bow in front of him because he was their guru. All that he was there. Afterwards, we were going for dinner, for lunch, and all that arrangement was there. And then Swamiji finished his, and then we all went inside, sat down. I was sitting there, and 2 others were there, and Swamiji was there. Then next Nagenji was there, and all that. And the food is served. After food is served, and Swamiji does the prayer for the food, and a little proksha and all that. Then he namaskara, and then got up and went out. Got up. I said, why? He's not eating food. In fact, he was the person who was saying, I'm hungry, we should have food. He was not eating. Then the disciple told me, one of the students was there. Swamiji might have taken anuvrata. What is anuvrata? Because of which he is not eating. See, anuvrata is like this, that today, a line of people who came and prostrated in front of him, touched his feet. Anuvrata, he would have just said, if somebody, a lady with a red dress will come and touch his feet, he will not take food that day. And it is secret for himself. He will not say, if he tells everybody, the world stops. That day, women wearing red saris.
Small indication.
So therefore, it just kept like that. It's not. How many anuvratas that they could have it like that? In fact, it was story said that Mahavir, he went on without food for 167 days because of his anuvrata. A very peculiar anuvrata. And then he could not find somebody serving food with him, with that anuvrata. Finally, that day that he could get the food.
Can you survive?
You survive because of willpower. So this is what the willpower. Brahmacharya ashrama,
Is it hurting oneself?
You see, once you have the willpower can do the things. It is not hurting oneself. Because you have an ability, sanyama, to do it. Take water, he would take something else. But then he would not take food. Just the way that he did it. Yeah, people are surviving with water. Yeah, one can survive. Similarly, that we have in the case of Parvati, she was in penance. And then she said, no, I will only take leaves. Nothing else, no food. She was taking raw leaves. And then one day she said, I will give up these leaves. That's why her name is Aparna.
Oh.
Yeah. Parna means leaves. And then she gave up that. She wanted to live only in water. That's why her name, Aparna. So Aparna is one of the names of Parvati. So Anuvrata, Vrata can be taken to see that. Brahmacharya Ashma gives you that opportunity to do these things. And what is good for you, that is what Brahmacharya Ashma gives. There's no question of discrimination, there's no question of jealousy, there's no question of anything. You are all together. As a king's son is also there, a servant's son is there, poor Brahmin's son is there. That's what Krishna and Sudama were together. So that is Brahmacharya Ashrama. See, look at the way that now you are trained for almost like 18, 19 years in this particular way. Then whatever that is good for you, you start liking it because that's what you get it. You are not exposed to anything else in the world. So naturally, this is what is Shreyas and Preyas. There is no difference by successfully coming out of Brahmacharya. This is one of the principles of Shreyas. Similarly, like that, you don't have, you may say that I come from the royal family, so therefore I should have a special bed here. No, everybody sleeps on the floor together with that. You are learning is the only focus, nothing else is there. In fact, I've seen this kind of thing in Himalayas when we went on tour somewhere, and one place where it is called as Vashisha Guha. So we went to Guha, and then you go down and then go to the Guha. In the Guha, there was somebody who is saying Swamiji, and then there were 4 disciples were there. They were studying some very important text in Sanskrit. And then the teacher was giving, and then they were just focused on the book and learning the whole thing. We all went around, some 20, 25 people, at least about 10 ladies, 15 ladies, and then we were there and we were walking. Foreigners were there and all that. These people did not even raise their head and look at who is going. Curiosity is not there. Focus on learning. This is what is the discipline, the Brahmacharya Ashram. You have nothing else, only learning. All these things, when you learn in the Brahmacharya Ashrama, then you are now going towards only what is good, what helps you to see that how you can grow spiritually. When that is there, afterwards, you are exposed to anything in this world. Some people, out of curiosity, might go here and there astray for some time, but that will be only a temporary astray. But they soon they come back. They come back and then they start once again realizing what's importance of this particular thing. So therefore, that it helps to see that how a person's focus is towards the spiritual growth. That's why these ashramas are given to see that how you are taken towards that. This is what is important thing about the Brahmacharya Ashrama. Another important thing is Brahmacharya Ashrama, that you live for each other. The students live for each other. Wherever, anywhere it is like that. And third important thing is that the teacher is so important. More important than the parents. Because parents, you are born and whatever the samskara that they are given, that is there. But in order to mold you, the teacher is very important. So that's why you should develop the importance for the teacher. The idea is that the relationship between the student and teacher is just so closely connected. It is like two sides of the same coin. That's why he says Acharya Purva Rupam, Ante Vasyuttara Rupam. In that coin, Purva Rupa on one side, heads are Acharya, tail is Antevasi. And the very name itself is Antevasi means basically tail. And again Upanishad says that Brahmapurcham Pratishtha. That means You are there at the Pricha, that means tail end, you are there. You are going there in that direction. Now, unless until that you see something in the teacher, you will not become the teacher. So, living with him, then what happens is that it's not just only learning the book, but you see the person there. So this knowledge is the knowledge which is lived by people, the teacher. So that's what is your connection. But again, important aspect is that the teacher has such a great value for you that if you do not fit into the kind of teaching that he's giving, he will recommend you to go someplace. He will suggest you where you should, where you go. So initially, this period, after they go to, like for example, Krishna was there, Sandipani Ashram, for such a long time. After that, yes, you can go ahead. And then the rishis come actually to take Krishna, all that. But then Krishna did not require any more learning. A lot of things happened after that. That's a very nice thing. So this way, what happened is that the growth has to take place. But growth towards, that means right from the birth, you're growing towards the spiritual. If the brahmacharya ashrama is for going towards spirituality, you mean to say that other ashramas are not that? They also are meant for that. That's why an elaborate arrangement is made for the next ashramas. But actually, in order to go to the next ashrama, you have to graduate from this. You have to be established in that. That's why from the brahmacharya ashrama, you graduate into grihastha ashrama. Grihastha ashrama is not just only provided that way. It is that you are it. That's the reason why once the student comes out of the brahmacharya ashrama, that means learning is over. At that point of time, then he was given the injunctions. That's what is called as Veda Manucha Acharya Ante Vasanam Anushasti. Anushasana is given. Follow these things. That means until now that you are in Gurukula, Gurukula will take care of it. Guru will take care of it. Guru Patni will take care of it. But then afterwards, that you are taking care of yourself. So when you take care of yourself, there are certain things that you need to really keep it in your mind in the background. So this is a self-proposed, self-imposed kind of instruction that is there. So this is what is the next level that is given, and that the whole elaborate mantras are there. And then this particular school, the learning process that goes on is supposed to be jnana danda. That means to say, it is handed over to you. Actually, Rishi, this sannyasas, they're given that sannyasa danda. That means they keep that danda in their hands. Without danda, they cannot travel, they cannot be anywhere. They have to be with that danda. The same thing is there we have in the parliament. Sangol. Sangol is that. So, yes, Raja. If that means you have to be disciplined by, and in fact, very simple thing is look at the way that they are selected to parliament, and then okay, our assembly. Now they are elected by the people and then they go there. But they're bound by certain injunctions. So that's why the oath-taking ceremony. Oath-taking is to say that I follow these things for the sake of people. And that's what is said about. And that's what is the Snatakotsav mantra that gives in the Taittiriya Upanishad. And then it is Matur Devo Bhava, Pitur Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo, Atidhi Devo Bhava, Yan Anavadhyani Karmani, Tari Sevitavyani, No Itarani. My God, all those restrictions are there to see that how a child now they're given because that now he is capable of taking on himself these things. Because by that time he is soaked with that kind of knowledge which comes from the previous kind of life, or from the scripture, from this and that. So therefore, what happens for him is now he's prepared to lead a life. Now, what happens is that this brahmacharya ashrama, once he comes out of it, then he is a unit in the society. I should create a unit in the society in such a way that it is properly molded. Otherwise, I cannot give it to the society something which is raw that can spoil the society. Therefore, we have to create that. At least a large number of things that we create that way so that that prevails. Some aspects are there and all that is there. But basically, like for example, the parliament, everybody takes oath of office. At least let's hope that 60, 70, 80% follow the oath of office. Others may not follow. So that is the kind of thing that is given. So that means to say your life is provided in such a way it goes in that forward direction. And brahmacharya is another thing where it's a process where so many things are unfolding within you. See, basically what happens is that your sensory organs are open. Like for example, that your perceptive senses, motor senses, all these things are open and your intellect is open. Then only that you go to brahmacharya ashram. Now after that, what happens is that there are other things which are the physiological features that develop. You develop the sex, the gender differences, you see the human and non-human kind of differences. All these things develop overall, over a period of time. So as they develop, they are molded in this particular shield of how the spiritual development takes place. It's like the way that, the tree, the moment that gives flowers, when it comes to maturity level, it gives flowers. And then start giving the small little fruits. You know what? They cut off those fruits. Because the tree has to grow to the fullness to see that the tree can bear the fruits. So the same way that for a period of time, though that you develop your instincts of gender, etc., but then you are under check for the next about 10 years. Maturity has to happen. Then you are released into the society. Now, otherwise, what happens is these forces can misguide you, misdirect you. So whether it is karma, krodha, all these things. Now what happens? They are no more your enemies, but they are basic necessities. For that you take care of it. Unfortunately, what happened is that when people don't understand these things, the brahmacharya is given only, that is abstaining from the sex. Don't go for sex. Don't go to the opposite sex, opposite gender. And some people even projected in such a way that it's, oh, don't go for women, as if man only goes for women. Woman doesn't go for man or what? Only men go for women, and then woman is full of filth, full of this, as if you have some gold and something like that inside your body. The same blood that is there, same blood is there within you. Same bone that is there. The same food that you take is the same food that she takes. But then look at the way that how the people have projected all those things. It's not with the question of rejection, it's the question of maturity. This, once we understand that, then we can go to the higher level. Now, after this, some people can go further, same in that direction itself. They can mature themselves into consciousness right from itself. So that's why Shankara also gives an idea. The moment that if that question, this urge comes within you that, look, all these things, journey that I don't have to go through, I can shortcut the whole thing and go to the sannyasa dharma. That means giving it. Yadhare paravajet, tadhareva virajet. Whatever that you can see, these blossoms, pravajet, tadhareva virajet. Allow it to happen. So that's why Shankara, when he was 7, 8 year old, he realized that this is the way it is. He went ahead. Vivekananda went ahead. But others looking at them, they go, and now they suffer because maturity has not happened. They have not graduated themselves into it. This is the whole problem. We have system that is there. It's not that only that sannyasi is supposed to go to spirituality. The whole life itself is meant towards spiritual journey that happens. So this is what is actually the way that brahmacharya ashrama is the first footing that we are given, foundation that is given. If I give the foundation strong, building will superstructure will be strong. And that superstructure, which is a unit in the society. Brahmacharya is not unit in the society, whereas grahastha is a unit in the society. And because grahastha is unit in the society, grahastha is bestowed with the responsibility of taking care of a brahmacharya. Is the responsibility, because basically this brahmachari is going to be the unit in the society. I want a society to be good society, I have to take care of the brahmacharya. That's why until my childhood days, until I was in high school, We used to have at least about 8-10 brahmacharis used to come to our house, have food, bhiksha, and then go. And they come for bhiksha on a particular day. That's what is Guru Purnima day and all that. We all used to touch their feet, given respect to that. That because that bhiksha they have come, don't, it's given like that, given responsibility. Nowhere else in the world, bhiksha is given such a great honor like this society has given. And that's what is the wonderful idea about brahmacharya. We used to have one person who used to stay in our house and he was teaching us everything and having food with us. My father could afford so that was there. But he sincerely, loyally used to teach us. And all my brothers and all that, they were passionately learning from whatever that is. I was the only what is that exception out of it. Now I remember how much trouble I used to give all these people. I was intelligent, therefore I could take advantage of all
Why
this.
you did not?
I used to love playing. I used to play with every situation, with everything. And then it used to create a problem to them. That my teacher used to always keep me by his side so that I do not, but I would find out some mark as the other opportunity. I don't know why I was like that, but I was. One of my cousins, she also came, 1 year elder to me, 2 year elder. She came with us to our. She and her mother stayed with us for I think 2 years or so, and she was learning. Was also there, and then afterward they left. We were in Kama, they were in Bangalore. Totally, there is no connection. And after several years, that means 30 years later, one day that I was sitting with Didi, and then the clinic was there, and nobody was there. So front desk, I was sitting there, and this lady came and said, "I want to meet Nagaratna." Okay, meet and all that, and said she saw Nagaratna Raghuram. So you are Raghuram? I said, yeah. Then she looked at me. Said, "Are you from Khammam?" I said, yeah. Hey, Raghu, you are? I said, yeah. Oh, then I realized she is my cousin. Arey, wow, strange. When did you come? I said, I moved all this. Then I said to her, I was hesitating. No, your mother is still alive. Want to see? She only said, do you want to see my mother? I said, wow, wonderful, let's go. Immediately we left her house. And then when we went to her house, she went inside. I said, I will be with my mother. You walk inside. And then she was with her mother. I was walking inside. And then she said, look at the person who is coming. Then mother, 90 years plus, something like that. And then she looked at me very carefully and then said, is it Raghu? Wow, what a wonderful memory it is that she recognized me. That was wonderful. But the next sentence was damaging. She said, you are the same or have you improved? My God. That means now I realized how much I used to get. And this girl was one of the persons I used to trouble her. Picture, do something. I don't know what I used to do. But then she would cry. But then the teacher used to go and sit on the other side. Karan, no, I will sit with next to Raghu. Anyway, all these things are there. So from brahmacharya to grihastha is such a big graduation, development that has taken place. So unless until we have the education system which is catering to this kind of a thing, we cannot have this, the unit in the society, that's what is grihastha, because it has such a great responsibility. Gruha makes the society. And in Gruha, there are so many different categories of people are there. So until brahmacharya, there is no division. But after that, all the division is there. And the division also in such a way that how it can get towards the spiritual journey. So we'll continue have the discussions on the further journey from brahmacharya to grihastha to vanaprastha to sannyasa. And this is what Sanatana Dharma has given to us. As I said, that whether the technology, whatever develops outside, whatever, but this system is something which we need to develop. It's not a question of we have Gurukulas or not. There are Gurukulas that are there. But the principle of Gurukula is something which need to be incorporated in our way of life. Same way, principle of Grahastha has to be incorporated in the way of life. Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. These are the things which are there. We'll see how Ashrama Dharma, it is called as Sanatana Dharma. One of the important component of the Sanatana Dharma is Ashrama Dharma. That is what is given in such a way. And I will also give the idea in what way we can make changes in the Sanatana Dharma, appropriated in present day's world, so that it can take us in that direction. We'll try to look into that. Let's stop it here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I have a doubt, Raghuramji. For
Yeah.
example, if Krodha is there, many people keep saying it's bad, bad, bad. But rather than saying it's bad, isn't it good to know, have jnana about it, why it has come, and then outgrow it or something?
Actually, when that we understand that, what is that? Krodha will itself drop down. You don't become, because what happens, that's why Bhagavad Gita is very important thing. Krodha bhavati sammoha. Krodha leads you to sammoha. Sammoha is actually hypnosis. Hypnosis means you are not there, somebody else is working on you. So the moment that you look into it, so I want to see that, why? I'm angry. That means you're bringing in the awareness. That means you're coming out of sammoha, hypnosis. That means now you are not guided by anything world outside. You guide yourself. Then what happens is that your anger is something which can correct others. You can show the anger. What's wrong about it? By anger, something can be corrected. That's what Rama, he showed his anger on the Sagara. See, he prayed the Sagara, he did the penance and all that. Sagara did not give way, that ocean. Then Rama himself, Sagaram Sosha Ikhyami. I'm going to dry up the whole Sagara with my one arrow. He came running and falls at the feet of Rama. Please don't do that for me. Then give us way. Then he suggested that this is the way that you do it. That's how we have created that. That's why monkeys have created the bridge for Rama to reach there.
But that was a case of Rama where his ego was not involved. It was not
No,
his
kind of.
most
7
of the
days
time
he
it
did
is,
penance. 7 days he
we think that
prayed.
we want to do justice, but most of the time it's
Yeah,
like
right.
my viewpoint or
Right.
something that this is not right.
Right.
This night, like you said about Shreyas prayers, we actually internally we
Right.
know.
Even this also, like for example, even in your anger, Shreyas and praise are there. Even jealousy, Shreyas and praise are there. All these things, you can see that now, where it is useful, where it is not useful. What's good for you. Actually, you see that you want to shout at somebody to correct somebody. Okay? But you are hurting yourself. That's why I always say your anger should be like a lighter, not like a matchstick. Matchstick burns itself, lighter burn the other. You want to change it, change it. And the situation is, in fact, there also there is one thing very clear. It says, anything that you educate somebody, want to change, want to do something, you should create that particular connection, link. Acharya Purva Rupam and Devasyuttara Rupam. That link is supposed to be corrected. If the link is not there, then you can't do anything. Many times situation is like this, that there is no link. See, I can be a father for my son. I can't be a teacher for my son. He has to accept me as a teacher. But there is somebody else who has great respect for me. He feels that I'm a great teacher. Whereas for him, he likes that fellow. So I work through him so that he can learn it. All these things are there.
So basically, like you're saying, you cannot do double roles
Yeah.
in that way. The connection loses.
Yeah, connection is very important. Correction is there, then what happens is because the connection is there, then the message goes across. Connection, that message does not go. That's the whole problem. So we need to establish that, very important.
That's why I think people think that when correction is happening without connection, they think it is a criticism.
Yeah. There's no connection that is there. So why do we? I see that whether there is anything connection like that is happened. I don't want to give the talk to anywhere, any else. Our own people are there, I gave.
This brahmacharya we have been speaking.
Yeah.
Earlier days there was a gurukul and the proper process of a father and mother. They were giving
Yeah.
love and then they hand over to a guru who takes up the further development. But in today's world, in the absence of such a system, what happens after that phase of Upanayana? What should be done actually?
That's why I'm trying to give next class.
Hmm.
What is the modification that we need to do in the Gurukul system,
Correct.
education system? We are trying to do it in Disha. Try to see what are the important things that we need to do. See, learning, first thing that I would come out saying that, unfortunately, the whole education system is teaching oriented than learning orientation. Can we bring in some amount in such a way that, all right, teaching you do it, pedagogy is there, important. But more important thing is, can I look at from the point of view of learning rather than teaching? Can I pick some portion which is learning from teaching? This is very important. So how much have you learned? That's what I must test you, not how much you memorized, but how much you learned. That's very important.
Because the parents themselves are incapable after a certain amount of age. They're incapable of giving that teaching or learning. Because
The parents are parents.
Parents are parents.
They are not teaching.
Yeah.
They teach a different kind of a thing, not the just
Correct.
curriculum.
Correct.
Curriculum is teachers. But what happens is that if the parent support is there, your learning in the curriculum also becomes encouraged. Parent may not know anything, but he'll be able to. Actually, today's world, parents do not know anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because the sciences progress so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. But we should always encourage children to find some good teachers
Good teachers, and then
in different fields, whatever.
you see, it's not just one teacher. What happens is that that's why we have Upanishad mantra or the Veda mantra that is there. The good thought, let it come from any direction. I don't look for this man or that man. I don't label a man what it is. The thought is there. Yes, I pick up that thought and go ahead. Ano Badra Krato Vishwataha. That's opening.
Anyone has any doubt online? Nobody has any doubt.
I think nobody seemed to have.
Okay.
Okay.
No, sir, nothing. Thank you so much.